Team USA in total chaos flushed face. Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark drama explodes.
Caitlin Clark fans aren't happy with Angel Reese. They are freezing her out. Outkick wrote an article and dropped it today. Angel Reese ignores Caitlin Clark multiple times in Team USA win, and the video proves it. The great Joe Kinsey wrote that article.
Team USA beat Puerto Rico. That sounds simple, right? But it's not that simple. Winning a game and actually playing like a team are two very different things. And Game 2 made that very clear. Something happened on the court that wasn't really about Puerto Rico. It was more about one player who seemed to forget she was part of a team. To be honest, in the comments after watching Game 2, do you think Team USA's lineup problems come from coaching or from player attitude? The scoreboard says Team USA won, and technically that's true. But if you watched the game, you know the score was the only good part. Everything else looked messy, disorganized, and hard to watch.
I mean, I thought the game was a little clunky. I felt like we probably didn't play our best. I thought Paige played really well, but it felt good. I mean, I obviously probably didn't shoot it as well as I would have liked. I think their zone kind of threw us off. I thought it kind of slowed down our pace a little bit. We didn't get as much in transition, so I think if like another team plays zone, just continue to play with a lot of pace until I think something's happening.
And the frustrating part is that we already knew what good basketball looks like. We saw it in Game 1. Game 1 actually looked like real basketball. The ball moved properly, players were in the right spots, and everything felt organized and smooth. It looked like a team that understood what it was doing. Caitlin Clark came off the bench in Game 1 and got straight to work. She had 17 points and 12 assists in just 19 minutes. Not 30 minutes, 19. She moved well, made smart decisions, and set up teammates perfectly. Because of that, the offense looked much better. The energy changed as soon as she entered the game. Everything became faster, cleaner, and more controlled. That looked like Team USA. Then Game 2 came against Puerto Rico. Same tournament, back-to-back games, but the performance dropped. Puerto Rico is in top-level international competition, so Team USA should have looked comfortable. Instead, the team looked confused. The lineups didn't work. The ball movement broke down. Players tried things that didn't fit their roles. And Caitlin Clark, after proving her impact in Game 1, was seen asking for the ball and trying to organize things on the court, clapping and signaling for control as the offense struggled.
Jealousy meets envy. You get what you saw last night. Caitlin Clark being shunned out of the game, iced out of the game, ignored, teammates refusing to pass her the ball. We got Angel Reese taking it coast to coast. Caitlin Clark right next to her, refusing to give her the ball, going, pushing, giving it to Diarca Hamby, and the ball it's a turnover. What we saw yesterday was the definition of jealousy.
Let that sit for a second. There's a 24-second clip going around on social media, and if you haven't seen it, the description alone says a lot. Puerto Rico takes a shot. The ball goes up, and Caitlin Clark is right there for the rebound. Not far away, not out of position. She's exactly where she needs to be at that moment. The simple basketball play is obvious. Get the ball to her. That's the smart decision. That's what should happen if the offense is being run properly and you want control of the possession.
Damn, says Caitlin, get the out my way. uses her right forearm to shield Caitlin from the ball like Caitlin's a defender, only to push the ball up herself. Caitlin says, oh, you got that? Oh, okay, my bad. My bad. I thought I was the point guard here, but you got that? Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, I didn't know. I thought we were on the same team, but you got that. You're right. You're the point forward. At least that's what your fans tell you. Oh, realizes we're not going anywhere.
Angel Reese grabs the rebound, which is her job, and she does it well. No argument there, but instead of immediately passing to the point guard, who is right next to her, she brings the ball up herself. In the process, she almost collides with Caitlin Clark, who is running beside her and clearly calling for the ball. Clark is clapping her hands, basically the universal signal in basketball for I'm open. Pass it, hey. Reese continues up the floor and then tries a long pass, the type of full-court throw that needs perfect timing and vision. It doesn't connect. The play breaks down, And what could have been an easy fast break opportunity for Team USA turns into a messy possession. It's the kind of moment where you can see how hard those passes really are, even if players at the highest level sometimes make them look easy. And to be clear, this isn't about attacking anyone. It's about roles on the court and making sure everyone is in positions where the team can function smoothly and consistently. Angel Reese was asked to play a point forward role for the Chicago Sky. She brought the ball up, initiated offense from the perimeter, and handled more playmaking responsibility than most players at her position. For that system, it worked well enough, but this isn't Chicago, this is Team USA. And this roster includes players like Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Plum, guards whose main job is to handle the ball, control tempo, and create offense. In that setup, Reese's value is different. It's not about bringing the ball up or forcing transition passes. Her strengths are rebounding, finishing at the rim, and scoring when she gets the ball in good positions. The key idea is simple. She should get the ball when she's open or set up, not take over initiating the offense. Nobody is saying she shouldn't be on the team or disappear from the game. The point is role clarity. When players stick to what they do best, the whole team functions better. Game 1 showed that clearly. With Clark in certain lineups alongside players like Plum and others, the offense looked smoother and more organized. The ball moved, shots came easier, and even Reese benefited from cleaner opportunities created by Clark's ability to draw defenders and open space for teammates. This is what Caitlin Clark brings to a team. She makes everyone around her better, not by doing everything herself, but by creating for others. She finds teammates in the right spots, delivers passes they can score from, and sees the floor in a way most players don't. Everything she does is fast, clean, and makes the game look simpler than it really is. So when someone chooses to dribble or initiate offense instead of giving her the ball, it doesn't just affect one possession. It takes away the very thing that makes the offense flow, and the whole team ends up feeling it. Game 2 wasn't technically a loss, but it didn't look good. Team USA, with a roster full of top-level talent, was outplayed in energy and pace by Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico looked quicker and more aggressive, and while fatigue from back-to-back games can explain some drop-off, it doesn't explain the basic breakdowns in decision-making or positioning. Another factor is lineup experimentation. Caitlin Clark didn't start in Game 1 or Game 2. Early in a tournament, that kind of rotation testing is normal as coaches try different combinations, but there's a limit. When one lineup clearly produces better spacing, better ball movement, and easier scoring, while others struggle to look organized, at some point adjustments stop being experiments and start becoming decisions that affect results. The head coach Cheryl Reeve, often misreported elsewhere, has mentioned experimenting with rotations, and that makes sense this early in competition. But tournament games don't wait long for chemistry to develop. Players like Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray are also part of figuring out those combinations, and some lineups will naturally look sharper than others depending on fit and rhythm. The bigger issue is consistency. Finding the group that actually makes the offense work and sticking with it when it matters. She didn't play well in Game 2, and there are fair reasons to be patient with that. The coaching staff also seems to have a clear philosophy of not pulling players immediately after mistakes, which is a reasonable approach. Taking someone out right after a turnover can hurt confidence, so coaches often wait for a natural break or a positive moment before making changes. But if Game 3 against Italy comes and Caitlin Clark still isn't in the starting lineup after what we saw in Games 1 and 2, it would raise questions. Not because she is entitled to anything, no one on Team USA is, but because the evidence is already there, the eye test is there. The moments are there. Even clips like her clapping for the ball she never received are part of the overall picture. At some point, the performance data becomes hard to ignore. Another important point is that not everything that went wrong in Game 2 came down to one player. There were multiple possessions where players tried actions that don't really match their skill sets in those situations. That included long, risky outlet passes that didn't connect and transition decisions made by players who aren't primary ball handlers. In several cases, it looked like parts of the team were trying to replicate what Clark does naturally, what she has built her game around over years of development. The problem is that those skills don't translate equally across every player, especially in fast, high-pressure situations. The passes, the pace, and the playmaking. When those aren't your natural strengths, trying to force them doesn't just fail. It fails visibly. It slows the offense, confuses teammates, and gives the defense time to recover. Caitlin Clark makes difficult plays look easy. That's her biggest strength. But it can also become a problem when others see it and try to copy it without having the same skill set. You can't just replicate that yet. And in a tournament against international teams, this isn't the time for learning on the job. This Team USA roster has real talent. That's not the issue. But talent alone doesn't win in team sports. Structure wins. Roles win. Players doing what they are supposed to do win. For Team USA to look like it should going into Italy and beyond, a few things need to change. Clark either needs to be in the starting lineup, or she needs a clear, consistent role where she can run the offense without competing for touches. The offense simply flows better when she controls it. That was clear in Game 1 that Angel Reese also needs to be used correctly. She's a strong rebounder and a finisher at the rim. That's her value. Her job should be to secure rebounds, pass out to the guards, and finish plays. Not bring the ball up or force transition passes. The coaching staff needs to address these issues now, not later, because role confusion doesn't fix itself. It gets worse under pressure. Team USA is better than what they showed against Puerto Rico. But being better has to show on the court right now. They have talent, but without clear roles and teamwork, talent just turns into chaos.